All right, Shalom. This is Arya Ben Yasharala.
This is Asar Basarala.
Our brothers from the Lions Den camp. First and foremost, we want to give our praise and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Bahasham,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Bahasham,
Bahasham,
Ha,
Ha,
Rakash,
Kudash,
Ma'amath.
Ma'amath.
A sincere shalom to the Aquatim, and the children that's pushing the truth, and the children that's believing and pushing the truth with sincerity. Double honors to our elders and apostles. I'm also our elder as well, down here in the Lions Den camp. Ahar Ben Yasharala. Ready?
I'm gonna give like a what do you call it? Well, this lesson is really going to be about mourning for the dead. You know, our people will what do you call it? They believe in hell. They believe in a whole bunch of other stuff, a whole bunch of wicked doctrine, a whole bunch of stupid things, and foolish things and wicked things, And of course, going along with the dead, the so-called Negro, Latino, or Native Americans, people do a lot of foolish things when they go along their line. They do funerals. It's not wrong with funerals, but just simply having it a year after, And the scripture says 7 days do you mourn for the dead, and they do it, like 7 years afterward, So
the rest of their life, for real.
They'll hold it in their heart, but that they dead relative was supposed to be back on earth with them or something like that. Their memory can live on your heart and your brain, your life forever. That's what you're supposed to have, the memory. But if their body is going back into the ground, and their spirit back into the Father, then you should be at ease with that. You should be comforted in the fact that that's just happening. Our people will think about the Issacharites, the so-called Mexicans. They'll have a whole day celebrated for the dead, the Dia de la Muerte. They paint they face like skeletons. They worship the dead. They worship they dead relatives. Like, you worshiping a whole human that's not on the earth anymore, and that's so all types of vanity, and our people love to be vain, So, and that's what his lesson is really going into. Just a quick little testimony. Just the other week, me and the brother was driving, and Jake, they had this little, I guess like a wake or something, or a funeral, but knowing dang well the funeral happened 6 months afterwards. You only supposed to mourn for your dead, so long that but most likely like 6 months after or something like that. And they got 100 cars, 100 cars deep, 200 cars deep, freaking just making traffic, willingly making traffic, and purposely making traffic like 200 cars deep. You gotta wait in the long behind line, like you a train, like you a freight train, like you delivering milk and cookies, man. So yeah, that's just going to our people's vanity, going to our people's foolishness and folly, that they'll deliberately do a whole bunch of wicked things out of the vanity of their own heart, to please themselves, for really no exact reason, But go ahead, get it on.
This is Sirach chapter 22 verse 11. Weep for the dead, for he hath lost the light, and weep for the fool, for he wanteth understanding. Make little weeping for the dead, for he is at rest. But
it's like it. But just like they said, don't weep for the dead, because he at rest. Boom, simple as that. But our people want to take an inch and get a mile. Oh, my mother passed away, so I need to get her toenail tattooed on me. I need to lock up her hair at me at all times, because now she's my guardian angel. Like, you'll have that. That's the vanity of our people. They'll have that. And of course, it says directly in the scriptures, don't make markers for the dead. and they'll get their mother's name tattooed on them after they pass away, or their mother's death date, that's kind of weird. You know, that's weird to have the death date of your loved one. And this is stuff you'll see in Babylon, you know, on a daily basis. You know, you'll see all types of folly and foolishness, you know, day in and day out, you know.
And also, people who call themselves the Christians, they say that they're for the Lord and they're for everlasting life, but truly, according to their doctrine, like the way they worship the death more so of Yahushua, you're supposed to worship, we're supposed to worship the life of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Like, so believing on a cross or a crucifix and believing on that image of that's not the right image you should be having in your mind when you pray to Yahushua, the one who died for our sins, like, willingly.
You know, and like the brother said, you can remember that, yeah, what he did. Why was he on the cross doing that? Why was he letting our people in Esau pluck, you know, the Romans pluck his hairs one by one and have a big old thorn, you know, a big as Shaq finger, you know, on his head, and have 2/3 of our people, you know, which are back here today doing the same thing, you know, and having that done to him, doing that willingly until he wants to give that last breath, understanding that, you know, and how deep that is, you know, and that's what we do at Passover. So we gotta remember what Yahushua actually, you know, did for us, you know. But our people don't even do that. They'll just, you know, drink some wine and communion, but not know why, you know, not knowing nothing, you know. They lack understanding completely. But of course, you try to give them the truth, they'll spit it right out. No one, you know. So come on, go ahead.
This is Sirach, chapter 22. I'm going to start back up at the top. Weep for the dead, for he hath lost the light, and weep for the fool, for he wanteth understanding. Make little weeping for the dead, for he is at rest, but the life of a fool is worse than death. Verse 12, 7 days do men mourn for him that is dead, but for a fool and an ungodly man all the days of his life.
So, look. It's in the scriptures, man. They knew under the sun. Our people will hold on to their loved ones passing away and mourn from them for their whole life before accepting that they have just been at now they at rest. Now they off of this wicked plane, off of this wicked earth, this hellhole that's going on constantly 24/7. They off this place. They don't got to worry about nothing. And honestly, they won't even care about you. They at rest. They asleep. They are at peace. they really want their loved ones to experience the same thing. But of course, you know, they at rest.
One thing I heard in the elder video, he said, yeah, you can be sad that, you know, you can miss their presence, but also be just as happy because they're in the presence of the Father. So they're at rest. Like that's all we want, is just to be in the presence of the Father, just dwell in His kingdom.
That's beautiful right there. And going back to the top for
Sirach.
Yeah, Sirach 11 verse 12. I'm at 22 verse 12.
7 days do Sirach chapter 22 verse 12. 7 days do men mourn for him that is dead.
So right there, 7 days meaning, you know, completion. 7 mean completion. That's how much you supposed to mourn for your loved ones, you know, when they pass away. You know, only a set number of days to, you know, to mourn about it. You know, think about it, missing their presence. You know, loving the memory, cherishing the memory. But after that, after a set number of days, after so long, that's foolishness. After so long, that's being wicked. That's going now you trying to do necromancy. Now you trying to be a witch.
And truly, if you truly want to mourn for your whole life, mourn for the whole, well, don't mourn for your whole life, but also be in mourning of the sacrifice that Yahushua did.
We got to remember that every day, you know. Think about
because every day they crucify him afresh.
Yeah. If what you call it in the scriptures, if they mocking us because the spirit we hold in the spirit, how we going through the spirit Yahweh Shemashah, they not just mocking us, they mocking the Father and the Son first before us, because they see that spirit on us. They see the spirit of Yahweh Shemashah, so that they'll mock at us because they really mocking at Yahweh Shemashah. So you'll see that day in, day out. You know, your own brothers and sisters constantly, you know, mocking at mocking at your light, or your, you know, you're trying to be at least, and mocking at your righteousness. You know, if you're trying to be, you know, do the correct spirit of Yahweh Shemashah. You got that. Second Maccabees.
This is Second Maccabees chapter 7. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. But one of them that spake first and said thus, What wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers.
So come, man, that's a good mindset to have. You said that right now, but of course, going along with the lesson. You know?
Verse 3. Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the uttermost parts of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on. Now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire, and to be fried in the pan, as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed. They exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus, The Lord Yahweh looketh upon us, in truth have comfort in us, as Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, And he shall be comforted within his servants.
Come, man, the Most High Yahweh Shemashah is going to be comforted in his service, being us, man, being what his women, you know, meaning servant, you know, and Yahweh Shemashah being the husbandman. We're meant to serve him, and within that, that's a whole circle right there. We believe
true circle of life.
Yeah, come, man. We believe so much in Yahweh Shemashah that we'll serve him with all our might and all our heart. And Yahweh Shemashah is putting that wisdom, allowing us to have that wisdom, and allowing us to have that faith and hope and bravery, you know, putting that in us just so we can serve him, you know.
Truly like Green Lantern, truly like Green Lantern's light, Salakia. Truly like Green Lantern's light. We have to go to him for that energy, that so that we can function properly, for real.
What verse was that?
I stopped at verse 7. All right. Second Maccabees chapter 7 verse 7. So when the first one was dead, after this manner they brought the second to make him a mocking stock, and when they pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, they scalped him. They asked him, Wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout? It's like it. Wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body? Saying this after he just saw the first brother do it. Verse 8. But he answered in his own language and said, No. He said, La'ah. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order as the former did. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, Thou like a fury takest us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws, everlasting life, unto everlasting life. I'm talking about.
I said a little more. It's good.
Verse 10. After him was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon.
That's the part I want to talk on. But the brother put out his tongue on purpose, man, because
hold on, I'm about to read it.
Yeah.
Putting forth his hands, Salakia, verse 10. 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 10. After him was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue in that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully, who said courageously, these I had from heaven, and for his laws I despise them, and from him I hope to receive them again, insomuch that the king and that were with him marveled at the young man's courage.
So Khan, man, the brother knew that his body and his spirit was given to him by Yahweh Shema Shai. It was given to him by his body. His vessel was given to him by the Most High. His spirit was given to him by the Most High. Our spirit is made it from heaven, man, from the heavens, from the Most High, you know. And you know, if his hands were cut off and his tongue was cut off, his head was scalped, that hopefully, you know, he gonna get him again, which he knows in fact that he'll get him again through reincarnation, you know, through regeneration, you know. After you pass away, your spirit go back to the Father, you know, that last breath, just like that, your spirit go back to the Father. Your body returns into the dust, you know, it decomposes. But then after that, you come back to earth, you relive it. So just like those 2/3 of people that were mocking at the Lord, those are the same people that mocking the Lord today. Just like the Edomites that had us in slavery, or Edomites that were mocking at Yahweh side, they back on here. Just like the wicked Sadducees and Pharisees, they back on earth in the same spirit. So that's going along with reincarnation, and that's another reason why you shouldn't be so mournful of death when you know you finna come back anyways. That's why our people mourn for the dead to the extent that they do, because of the mental slavery that Esau put on our people, that hell is just a low condition. It's not actually a place under the earth, you know, with pitchforks and you know, red devils. The red devils be right in front of our faces, and we don't even know. The enemy be right in front of our faces, and we don't know. The Diablo, the deceiver, be right in front of us. The serpent, you know, the cunning beast be right in front of us, talking to us. You know, talking about you finna get your 401k.
Reinvest, rediverse.
They the same ones that throw up that game side, that big old smile, and say and say another day in paradise.
Just like Nate.
Come on, man.
Everything he do, he say with a smile.
Come on, man.
Join our booster club. The same deceiving spirit.
Come on, man. So what you call it? Our people should be happy that when their loved one pass away, that their spirit going back to the Father, their body go back to the ground.
And when you say it's like it.
I was gonna say and that they gonna return him again, but it's gonna be the last time we're gonna be here though. So that's another thing. You know, we're gonna get new bodies, and the elect gonna inherit the kingdom. You know. What was it?
I forgot. No, it's good. It's
like it.
St. John. St. John chapter 16, verse 20. It says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, that ye shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice, and ye shall be sorrowful.
It's like my bad. This is Romans chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto Yahweh, which is your reasonable service. So come, man. Just like there in 2 Maccabees chapter 7, the brother literally, you know, don't care that he's finna get his hands chopped off and his tongue chopped off, and you know, and ultimately get killed, get murdered. You know, he doesn't care, because ultimately he's willing to give his body as a living sacrifice. He don't care about his body because he knows that he's going to be born again and get another body. You know, and knowing, and you know, our people knew about reincarnation, but our people don't know now. They think a whole bunch of other doctors. They think a whole bunch of stuff. You know, a whole bunch of folly and everything. You know, but you know, it's simple as that. You know, we should be able to think like that nowadays. But you know, that's not how it's gonna be. But
so much evidence of it. When people say, oh, when people talk about when adults meet a child that's very mature, they be like, oh, he an old soul. Mm-hmm. We've all been here before. Some more than others. Like we all been here before. Shit.
So kind, man. Present your body as a living sacrifice, and of course, the men of the Lord, through the true spirit of Yahweh Shem Ashai, they do on the highways and byways.
Those same 7 brethren that got maimed for not eating swine's flesh, they back here on the earth, getting ready to receive Yahweh Shai's kingdom. That's what they died for. That's what they died for. Like, boom, and it's gonna be done.
Like the same ones that being tortured, being tarred alive and lit on fire or boiled alive for the name of the Lord. They right back on earth, you know. Or they in the heavens, you know.
God.
And
either one.
And they the elect, you know. Well, go ahead, get
St. John's?
Yeah. Chapter 20.
Alright. St. John's chapter 16, verse 20. Verily, verily, I say unto you that ye shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice, and ye shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. Verse 21. A woman, when she is in travail, hath sorrow, because her hour is come. But as soon as she is delivered of the child, she remembereth no more the anguish for joy that a man is born into the world. Con. Ooh. That's beautiful. It's just the I mean, even though Yahweh Shem Yahshua didn't want us to know death in the beginning, now that we see it, we can see the beauty in it. And then we're also going to be outside of it, because we're going to be able to be immortal. All right, but at the same time, we're going to be able to see the cycling of souls coming here on the earthly realm and into the spiritual realm. We're gonna have that ability, and it's going to be a beautiful thing to judge things off that, man. It's just a beautiful piece. I'm gonna keep going. St. John chapter 16, verse 22. And ye now therefore have sorrow, but I will see you again, and your heart shall rejoice, and your joy. Go ahead.
It's like, so calm, man. That's also going to reincarnation. That when ultimately when you say your farewells to your loved ones, of course, in the days of old, they already knew they finna be back on you. But now when you say your goodbyes to your loved one, now you know you finna see them in the kingdom. They finna be a baby now, you know. Mm-hmm. So you can think happily that now, of course, before all that happens, they're gonna be at rest until then, and you won't ever have to worry about them again. You won't have to worry about their physical pain or their mental pain, you know, for the time being, you know. So that should ease your mind, you know. You still got
St. John.
What, you finished it? You got 22?
Yeah, I ain't finished 22. St. John chapter 16, verse 22. And ye now therefore have sorrow, but I will see you again, and your heart shall rejoice, and your joy no man taketh from you.
So come, man. No, yeah. Ultimately, you know, I being our joy, Yahweh Shem Ashai, knowing that that we have a spirit. Only person that can take our spirit is Yahweh Shem Ashai. Esau can't take our spirit. He gonna kill the body. You know, Ham. You know, Nimrod, right?
What?
Nimrod, Hamite, right?
Nimrod? Is it Hamite?
It's like I really what you call it? I think about I forget.
Yeah, about to say.
It's like it. But what you call it? Esau can only take our bodies away. You know, he gonna kill us, but he can't take our spirit. Only Yahabashim outside can take our spirit. You know, the heathens can't take our joy away. As long as we have Yahabashim outside, we good. You know, even in death we good. You know, we'll willingly die for Yahabashim outside and still be good, and still be faithful unto Yahabashim outside. You know.
All right, this is Job chapter 3, verse 13.
Wait, hold on.
All right.
You want to get Job 19, 25?
All right, come on.
Well, I'm going to get the stuff.
Okay.
Let's see.
Job 19, 25.
Yeah, we already got it?
Oh, you said you like it.
No, yeah. This is Job 19, verse 25. For I know that my Redeemer liveth, that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth.
Really quick, and that Redeemer is Yahweh Shai.
Kind, man. Verse, I'm gonna let you explain that.
Come.
Verse 26. And thou after my skin, worms destroy this body.
Come. So when we know the proper process of a human body, it decomposes. You know, worms eat it. If you were to naturally bury something, the worm, it would just decay. All right, go ahead.
Yet in my flesh shall I see Yahweh.
Bro, in our flesh, that means we have other bodies outside of this realm that are prepared for us already. Like, we're good. Like, we have like spiritual bodies. Like, it's just okay. Keep going.
Verse 27, whom I shall see for myself.
For yourself. That's what he's saying. That for himself. Go ahead. I mean, it's like I forget. I think this is Job speaking to to someone. It's like I'm gonna bring it up later. It's like keep going.
And mine eyes shall behold, and not another.
Mine eyes, not another eye. Mine eyes.
And not another, though my reins be consumed within me.
Keep going.
Verse 28. But ye should say.
Oh no, that's it's like it. But that's all I want to bring out. Is like we have bodies outside of here. Like we don't just. We're not just like, this isn't the end. Like this is not just the one life that we live. Like we have a spirit, but we have a spirit that goes into the Father and has rest.
You get that 2 Samuel.
2 Samuel.
I'm not 6 Samuel. My bad.
Job.
Yeah, Job 3:13.
All right, this is Job chapter 3 verse 13. It says, "For now should I have lain still and been quiet, I should have slept, and then had I been at rest with kings and counselors of the earth, which built desolate places for themselves."
So being what you see what Putin and Trump, they got they companies, you know, well, Trump or something like that. But just like in the days of old, kings and princes, they had their own castles and all
to honor themselves.
Yeah, they had all of that, so. And that's what Job saying he saw that, and that's throughout time, so and that'll be in the spirit realm.
Job chapter 3 verse 15. Or are princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver, or as hidden untimely or as an hidden untimely birth I had not been, as infants which never saw light. Verse 17, there the wicked cease from trembling, and there the weary be at rest.
So Job talking about the spirit realm. Ultimately, that's the spirit realm. You see princes and kings, throughout his time. What you call it? Them being dead. He what you call it? It's like he seen them. He seen these spirits. What you call it? And also,
can I read the rest real quick? This is 3:18. Job chapter 3:18. It says, there the prisoners rest together, and they hear not the voice of the oppressor.
Con.
The small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master.
Yep.
Wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in thy soul. Question mark. But the small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Like, like, man, people are at rest. Is no reason to just, and truly what it is just people get into their feelings. That's all it is.
They let their emotions take hold of them. You know, that's the scripture. Don't believe not unto the way of your own understanding. You supposed to believe. You supposed to believe unto the way of Yahweh Shema Shai only.
Unto truth and order.
When we come man, that come with your own heart and become man is vanity. You know, you got to stray away from that. You got to try to strive for righteousness. You know, not folly, not wickedness.
Now, because we're all humans, you know, nobody's a robot. We have emotions. Yeah. All right, but to choose to make the choice. Oh damn. To make the choice of having emotional something that the bishop of the camp was telling me about emotional maturity enough to and maturity comes with like an intelligent way, another way of thinking. All right, you have to put aside your emotions and do the right and in order and proper thing for whatever you're facing.
Man. Just like that, you know. But people don't see us that's a that could be a whole episode on Steve Harvey, and no one will even understand what he's talking about, man. You know, they'll just be like, but really, it is just that you should have mental maturity, that you should have your emotions in check, man. That you simply mourn for your dead, that they are at rest, they are at peace. Simple as that. You shouldn't mourn for them no more. You shouldn't do all types of witchcraft and necromancy, which people love to do, to try to bring them bad or trying to quote unquote honor them. But you know,
that's what 21 Savage believe in. That's the vibrations that he's pushing into our community. And he says it's from like some African junk. So it's like
the ancestors
type shit. Like
that's what they believe. They believe that their ancestors is giving them
advice.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, when I was alive back 300 years ago, I used to do
knowing that we are the people that was in the days of old.
And this right here is our record. We gotta blessed is he that readeth, so we gotta start reading it.
Man. They don't understand that, but through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, we have an understanding of that. We trying to tell our brothers and sisters that's out there watching, you know, children that's out there watching, that you are a Israelite. So if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, the speckled bird, that you don't have to worry about death anymore. You shouldn't fear death. You should only fear Yahweh Shema Shai. You know. But I'm going to go ahead. This is 2 Samuel chapter 12. I'm going to start at verse 16. David therefore besought Yahweh for the child, and David fasted and went in and lay all night upon the earth. This is when King David's son was sick.
He was on his deathbed.
Yeah, his son was on a deathbed, and basically, if your loved ones, is sick, you want to be better, and that's all David wanted. He wanted his kid to be better, so he prayed, fasted, just was just more worried about his son than himself, which is selfless, Verse 17, and the elders of his house arose and went to him to raise him up from the earth, but he would not. Neither did he eat bread with them. So he was more worried about his son than eating, Verse 18, and it came to pass on the 7th day that the child died, And the servants of David feared to tell him that the
because
child.
it's like they feared to tell him because he was already in like bad array. So they was like, man, this is really gonna crush him. It's like, go ahead.
Man, look, yeah, they thought he's gonna be more sad, more mad because his child has passed away. But guess what?
More sorrowful.
But guess what? Right here. And it came to pass on the 7th day that the child died, and the servants of David feared to tell him that the child was dead. For they behold, while the child was yet alive, we spake unto him, and he would not hearken unto our voice. How will he then vex himself if we tell him that the child is dead? Verse 19. But when David saw the servant whispered, but when David saw the servant whispered, David perceived that the child was dead.
He already peeped.
Therefore David said unto his servants, is the child dead? And they said, he is dead. Verse 20. Then David arose from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his apparel and came into the house of the Lord and worshiped. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set bread before him, and he did eat. So immediately after his child passed away from this earth, the last breath, was the Lord took away the last breath. Now, just like that, your son is with the Father at rest and at peace, and no more do we have to worry about his child being sick and ill because he passed away. He had peace now. His body can go back to the earth, and his spirit is back to the Father. So he don't have to. King David don't have to worry, and he don't have to sit, and he don't have to just worry no more.
Right. Beautiful thing.
This verse 21. Then said his servants unto him, what thing is that thou hast done? Thou didst fast and weep for the child while it was alive, but when the child was dead, thou didst rise and eat bread. Because ultimately King David was more worried about his son and him being sick, and about he wanted his son to be better. But if his child has passed away, there's nothing he can do, and it's as simple as that back then, knowing that as soon as your family passed away, boom, now they're at rest. Now you can mourn, and you can remember their memory, boom, simple as that. Now you can just go on and live again, And he said, verse 22, and he said, while the child was yet alive, I fasted whether Yahweh will be gracious to me that the child may live. He was hoping that Yahweh will let his child live. Verse 23, but now he is dead. Wherefore should I fast? So man. Ultimately, the Most High let his child pass away. The King David wanted his child to live, but the Most High let his child pass away, and now.
So it's just that's like the final answer. He's like, well, all right.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. So King David wanted Most High to wanted to let his son live, but he passed away. There's nothing he can do. Simple. Now he can continue his life. He don't got to worry about his sick, ill son that's in pain, that's in peril, and all that. So now him and his son are at peace again, at peace of mind.
I pray they be here together doing something. They probably brothers or something like that.
Verse 23. No, actually, that's it right there. Should I get up? But man, being as simple as that's all you supposed to mourn for that when your loved ones pass away. Now they're at rest. Their body go back to the earth. They return into the dust. They now they're at peace. They're away from the hellhole. And that when you mourn for your dead for your whole life, that's foolishness and that's wickedness. That you shouldn't do that. You supposed to mourn for your loved ones 7 days. Being completion, not doing it for your whole life. Not following after this wickedness of doing it every day, and just try to remember they memory, hold on to that. But doing anything outside of that, that's just foolishness. That now they not at if they passed away, now they not troubling. They spirit is with Yahweh, so you don't have to worry about them being ill or weak or sickly no more. Now they're at peace. Simple as that. But you gonna close out?
So we're gonna give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Racha, Kodash, Ma'amath. A double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Double honor to our elder as well, Aharon by Yashrala. Let's sincere the water to the Akim, Akwatim, and the children that's believing and pushing the truth with sincerity. The water very much. Shalom and Shalom.
Bye.